All right, it is Wednesday, finally. It's 4:30 p.m. It's Central Time. It means it is time for office hours here on the ViaMonstra Academy. How are things, Andrew?
You hit the nail on the head. It is finally Wednesday. Things are going well. We've been teaching a mastering Intune course this week, along with a number of other fantastic speakers, and it has just been it's been an absolutely great week, but busy nonetheless.
Busy, yeah. It's a bit of a puzzle to combine 9 speakers at the same week, but heck, so far it's been working.
That's right.
But we have some news to share, don't we?
Indeed. We have some news, and hopefully we'll have, like usual, some questions here shortly. So I've got a couple of things I'd like to share first, if you don't mind.
I do not. Let me see if I can make this work. Almost. So close.
All
Ha!
right.
Winning.
That looks good to me. Winning as always, indeed. So first up was a blog post that I came across from Martin Hemkin. A fantastic visualization on how filters work in Intune. So it goes through basically some nice visualizations on how these filters work, how Intune resolves conflicts. I can't think of anywhere else that I've seen this type of visualization to help us figure out how filters. There we go.
It was me. Sorry.
Oh, all right. No problem. Just making sure it wasn't me. So anyways, I can't recall anywhere else that I've seen visualizations like this that help understand how the filters actually go through and how the conflicts are dealt with, or how overlapping filters are dealt with. Great blog post here. So thank you, Martin, for putting that together. Definitely, if you're using filters in Intune, give this a look. This is some great stuff. A couple of other things that I came across here. A blog post from Nicholas Tinner, basically kickstarting macOS management. 5-minute read according to the estimate here on the blog post. I'm sure if you were going through it step by step, it might take a little bit longer than 5 minutes. But of course, any of these quick start guides or kickstart guides, getting in and doing some of these new things, I think are worthwhile. So thank you, Nicholas, for putting this together. Also came across, those of you may have seen a blog post from Microsoft on how bad guys are potentially using Quick Assist. And Martin Bengston put together this blog post on how we can remove Quick Assist using PowerShell and Intune. Great little blog post here. To the point of the title of the blog post here, it's not just Quick Assist. You can reuse this and remove other built-in applications as well. But the Quick Assist thing is a very hot topic this week. Which is funny. This is something that we've been talking about for some time. Johan, you've been a member of the audience when Jurgen and I have talked about customizing Windows 11 and why you might want to remove certain things. And Quick Assist had its own slide for the last at least year that we've been doing that presentation. Continued on talking about this at MMS a couple of weeks ago. So it was quite interesting to actually see Microsoft blog about it last week. Does that sound like it was last week?
I think it was 2 weeks ago, actually. But
all right. They're all blending together now. But great resource here as well. A couple of other quick things from Microsoft, but I'm gonna let you talk about the star of the show of Microsoft announcements this week.
All right. Let me see here if I can
I'll share these other two. You can pull it up while I finish up here.
All right.
Does that sound all right?
We have a deal.
All right, perfect. So if you're using organizational messages today in Intune, these are moving over to the Microsoft 365 Admin Center. So just an FYI for those of you that are using organizational messages. And then we also got an improvement on, or an announcement for an upcoming improvement on feature update policies in Intune. If you are using these, the feature update policies, you should be seeing over the next couple of days the ability to set feature updates as optional in these policies, which is kind of interesting. That puts a little bit of control in the hands of our users, which for some organizations I think is a very good thing. For others, maybe not so much. Maybe they need a little bit more control, but having these options is something that I feel like we even talked about that quite a bit on our course today. Having the options and the ability to control when you need it, or have it be automated and less control when that's okay for your organization, I think is an important thing. The fact that we get those options is great, from my view.
Yeah, I mean, if you have the opportunity to give users a chance to upgrade on their own terms when it's somewhat convenient for them, heck, why not? You don't have to worry about those users later when it's time to do the required upgrade. I was so excited when I saw this, I immediately opened up my tenant and I started to look for these things like, no, it's not here yet. And then I read further on in that post, like, all right, start the rollout on May 24. I'm like, dang it, that's Friday.
Well, at least we know what we get to test this weekend.
There you go. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, that is what I had. Some great stuff from around the community and from Microsoft themselves today.
All right, perfect. All right, let me go ahead and see if I can make this green magic work. There. Yay. This was announced this morning at some point. Next generation of Windows Autopilot is coming in, and this is not per se a Autopilot version 2 or whatever they have been calling that before, but it is additional profile in the platform together with some nice changes around the UI, doing the enrollment status page, etc. But all in all, during the year, we will see some enhancements for Windows Autopilot, and this blog post will tell you everything there is to know about it. Okay.
Did you happen to catch a date in there? Because I couldn't find one.
No, I think from MMS they just mentioned at some point this year, but I didn't see any specific dates at all.
All right.
It's definitely not available now, I can tell you that.
Yep, I can confirm. I know this is something that we're definitely excited to play around with, that's for sure.
Yeah. But it is this initial additional profile availability, as well as I think there was, a little bit of better progress bar. The audience laughed when they presented this at MMS because, okay, is this going to follow the normal progress bar timing, or is it actually going to be somewhat accurate? But it's better to show something like this for an end user instead of like a three bullet point of stuff they don't understand anyway.
Yep.
So, and then there was also some comments and questions down here as well. But
I like that top comment. I guess it's now official. It's like I don't know that I'd call it the worst kept secret over the last couple of months, but there have been signs.
I mean, they Microsoft mentioned it at the MEM Summit in Paris. They mentioned it at MMS. Well, in digital era, news travel pretty quick.
Yep.
Yeah. Other than that, Microsoft Build is going on this week, and together with that, Microsoft had an event on Monday announcing some changes around security, what they're working on there. few people have probably missed that there is a new security initiative going on, basically trustworthy computing take two kind of deal they're working on. But that's a very big priority for Microsoft these days. We covered that a few times already here in office hours, but this is a good blog post sharing some of what they're doing in Windows 11 on the security side of things. And then, of course, it was everything around AI during build and just before build here as well. Announcing Microsoft's focus on AI for the year to come. Not just software-wise, but also hardware-wise. So it was interesting to see a lot of different Copilot or AI powered hardware. PCs that are capable of doing a good chunk of operations per second through a neural processor instead of a regular GPU. So I did see that Microsoft Surface showed up with a few new devices. There was the Surface Laptop Business 7 edition. There was the Surface Pro showing up. I saw that, I think I had that actually saved. Yeah, it was Windows Central that put that one up. But Lenovo announced their model that is supporting this platform. HP did the same thing for their Omnibook series. So that will be this one here. I think the Lenovo was $1,600, the HP $1,200, or the other way around, something like that. Let's see if there was $1,200 on this one. So anyhow, many vendors are now coming out with hardware that is directly tied to the upcoming release of Windows 11 and all those capabilities. And I think we'll have, as we said many times, this is going to be the year of ARM, I think, with all the new hardware coming out. And I saw one specification for, I think it was the laptop, the Surface laptop, where it will easily run 22 hours on battery playing video. And I'm like, yeah, I can use one of those.
Yeah, if that battery life that I've seen across these announcements is to be believed and actually is that amount of time in real life, that's a hugely exciting improvement. That's the one thing all of my Mac OS friends, always refer to.
Absolutely. And Microsoft also released together with Qualcomm that they have or Qualcomm announced it, that they're doing a dev kit, like the Microsoft dev kit for Volterra back in 2022. This one was announced today as well. A little bit more pricey. This one was $900. The other one was $600. But still, you can sign up for pre-order information on this page here. I did that myself earlier, so excited to see what that can become.
So that one is effectively like a Gen 2 of the one that you got previously, right?
I don't know, because the old one was actually, it was a Surface device, but it was a desktop. The dev kit was the dev, so I'm not sure what this one is. So it looks like something else.
All right.
I will see. Time will tell.
Indeed.
On the less exciting news, we had a few customers reporting in that after upgrading to ConfigMgr 24 or 3, the MDT integration no longer works. And that is absolutely correct. It seems that 24 or 3 is not just breaking Microsoft's own console extensions, they break pretty much every other console extension also. Forgot to test that part, unfortunately. So currently, I don't know of any workaround other than not using the MDT integration, because right now, if you try to use it, the console crashes and it's gone. You can edit sequences, you just can't create any new one. So anyhow, let's see what happens there. but I was a little bit sad to learn about that one.
Indeed.
Not that we use MDT integration much these days, but there are a lot of customers out there that still has it. Maybe a good opportunity to reroute that in PowerShell. All right. And then I stumbled across this little snippet. Microsoft announced a few improvements for Windows Terminal. And that was pretty much all I had in terms of updates.
It's been an exciting week, obviously.
Indeed. Indeed.
All right. So how about some questions then?
All right. Let's do it.
I got a welcome back in here. Thank you. It's been we've had an interesting last 6 weeks, you and I, where we've been bouncing back and forth on our Wednesday afternoons. But I'm very excited to be back this week, especially after the last two. I'm feeling much better and happy to be here. So thank you for that. Should have mentioned that at the beginning. So Noah's got an update from last week. Last week he asked about for basically all updates we're showing just over 400 machines. Called Microsoft, who said they've started to see a few calls on this specific issue in the last few weeks. They suggested to Noah upgrading to 2403 and keeping in contact if it does not resolve the issue. And so they're going to be doing that update on Friday. So just following up from a question they had last week.
All right.
All right.
As long as you don't have MDT, yeah, that is don't have that integration.
Indeed. So Akash has got a question here. I have an issue for the 2403 ConfigMgr 2403 update. The prereq check is failing with enable HTTPS or enhanced HTTP in site properties. But in the site properties, they already have HTTPS or HTTP checkbox ticked, and the client communications on the management point is HTTPS 2. Any ideas what the issue might be?
So the only thing that is not what I wanted to show. So this is a 2309 server. And in the communication security tab, the only thing so I had a server that was set up identical to this one. So this one was configured with these exact settings. And then I upgraded that one to 2403. And after that upgrade, it now looks like this instead. Where you see that this option is no longer available, and the UI looks a little bit different here as well. Might have been a setting on the management point also, thinking of it. Let me see. So this is the 2403 one. And if I head over to 2409 for the exact same setting, it looked like this. Well, I don't know why you get that error. If these are configured that way, that might be a lovely support call, I'm afraid. Or a bug in the prereq checker there.
Yeah, he just followed up and said, I don't even see the option for eHTTP. Interesting.
Yeah, no, I don't know about that one. That, I'm afraid, is indeed a support case.
right. With the new or upcoming autopilot enhancements, Dan was asking if they changed the wording where use for work or school registers the device as corporate owned.
I have no idea. I
Yeah.
did not see anything information about that, and I do not know.
Noah had a follow up for his earlier comment. What he meant to say was that for every update, it's showing just over 400 machines are in unknown status. So thank you for that follow up, Noah. In addition, also had a question here about WSUS and SCCM. Do I need to do anything within the WSUS server as far as approving or denying, or does SCCM take care of all the approvals and denials?
So ConfigMgr does have that option within the console to basically approve or decline updates. But we have seen scenarios where we run cleanup operations, especially in less maintained WSUS environments, where we either run a PowerShell script or even a SQL script that simply go ahead and declines a bunch of stuff outside of config manager. I remember there was a time where, let's see if I still have that script. Should have it. Yeah, this one here. No, that was the decline script. This is the get script. So it's going to run for a bit here. I'm going to need to change the database also. But this is a script that looks for updates that has a lot of metadata about them, fairly large text blocks, and that bumps up the catalog size significantly. The catalog that the clients are downloading. And see if it decides to finish up at some point. But you can see in this particular database that there are definitely updates that I do not need, that I can go in and decline. So this also goes back to a blog post that we, with combined resources, put together back in whenever
2018?
that was. Yeah, sounds about right. Not offense, defense. How do you spell defense?
An SE. There you go.
Yeah, so close. Anyhow, where we had to do a bit of housekeeping on the WSUS side of things. So this one is definitely a good read, but you may have to go in and decline weird stuff. I had one customer that had 65,000 drivers in that WSUS server.
Oh, no.
It's like, okay, not ideal for a ConfigMgr environment that doesn't support it. That was an unhappy database.
That was a couple of weeks full of headaches, wasn't it?
No, 45 hours it took to delete them.
Oh, I just this whole when we had these
Oh
WSUS
yeah,
issues.
oh good lord, yeah, no, that was no fun.
But still, that many hours for one database, that's
Yeah.
impressive.
Impressive was not the word I thought of, but all right.
All right. Always good to reflect. All right, got a couple of other questions here coming in. One on upgrading. Do you know where to look when upgrading to a newer Windows 11 build via an enablement package? Are they different than a regular in-place upgrade?
Absolutely, yes. I mean, enablement packages do not run setup, whereas what we often call a full in-place upgrade is setup exit driven. So you can see enablement package as a patch. Very quick install, single reboot done. Whereas a full in-place upgrade is indeed set up running through multiple phases and takes a very long time in comparison.
I equate them to, and I think this is oversimplifying a little bit, but I equate enablement packages to if we've got any gamers on here. These days there's this, there can be this practice of you purchase the video game, right, and all of the content is there, but some of the content happens to be locked behind a paywall, and once you pay that money, that content is just enabled without any additional download. With enablement packages, kind of work exactly the same, except we don't have to pay additional money for the enablement package.
Yeah.
Kind of how I make it easy in my brain, at least.
Yeah, I did a session with Mike Terrell at MMS covering some of those scenarios, and it's interesting to see that even within Windows 11 versions, there is still a very much mix on when you can use enablement packages or not. But for everyone now who wants to go to the upcoming Windows 11 24 H2, it doesn't matter what version of Windows 11 you're on, or if you're on Windows 10 for that matter, it is going to be a full in-place upgrade going to that version because there will be no enablement packages available, unfortunately. So
yeah, we really got spoiled there for a little while with Windows 10.
Yeah, with 3 versions, you can just enable, done. Beautiful.
Mm-hmm. All right. On the same topic, Noah asked a question for the Windows 11 in-place upgrade versus enablement. What are the pros and cons? I've done both. Just time seems to be the only downfall so far between the two.
I mean, the end result is going to be the same, but it's quite a difference of just enabling an already installed feature versus go through a full in-place upgrade.
Do you have scenarios, Johan, where you are recommending to customers when if an enablement package is available, that they actually go through the in-place upgrade? Or would you?
No, I mean, I've seen a few cases where the system was a bit broken, and doing the full in-place upgrade solved that problem. But otherwise, no. I can't think of any reason. And if anyone happened to know, tell me. I would love to know.
Yeah, please share. Otherwise, yeah, they're so much faster to do an enablement package. For the most part, just a reboot. All right. Got a question here about drivers and firmware servicing. Would you recommend using the Windows Update for Business drivers and firmware tool as opposed to any other solution? And if not, what would you recommend and why?
I mean, it obviously depends. As always, it depends. If you're an Intune only customer, that is about the only solution there is. That is also hardware independent, unless you want to write scripts yourself to do the same thing. So for that scenario, it's perfect. What I don't like about it right now is that you cannot really rely on the automatic approvals. You still have to do that manually. It's not that bad, but you have to do it because you don't really know what's going to be auto-approved. And the second is the targeting. I would like to have much more information about the drivers. For example, which computer model are you really intended for? So if I would open up my console and Intune, and head over to drivers, sure, I created these policies. I gave them the name by model, and I sure added in my models in it. But I kind of wanted to know that when I click a driver and look at that list, that the vendor also did that. I want them to tell me, yeah, this is indeed for that model. Currently, that doesn't show up in here. You can go behind the scenes and get some more information, but in general, stuff like that is currently missing. I hope they will add that in down the road, but yeah, we'll see. Other than that, it works. That's good. Oh, they can also fix the naming. Yeah, I mean, everyone knows what this is, right? It's something. This one I can figure out is a network driver. I get that part, and this one as well, and this one. But what these are, I have no idea. Could be AMT, could be something else. Doesn't really tell me.
No, and especially adds to the confusion when you see one might surmise that based on the release date and the versions, that's actually two different software components.
I'll say so, because this versioning here versus this version number here is very much different.
Yep.
So yeah, hopefully they're getting there at some point. ConfigMgr is easier. You have your package, you deploy it, done.
Yep. Absolutely. All right. Question here on WinRM. What would be the best way to set WinRM trusted hosts via Intune? I actually just checked, and this is in the settings catalog.
Yeah, I played around with it a little while ago. It was actually a little bit more tricky than I thought it would be. But I found a few posts that I followed back then. One of them was this one here from Anthony, and then there was another one from someone. Yeah, manage the cloud, your own. So I'll make sure to share these links out there, but this was what I had to do to get it working so I can use it in my lab environment.
Awesome. Thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What would you recommend to validate the amount of data that was saved using DO or Microsoft Connected Cache instead of ConfigMgr DP or the Microsoft CDNs?
I mean, the Windows Update for Business reports actually does show that information. Let me see here. Should probably bookmark that report, but all right.
I'm pulling mine up too, just in case. Well, you're getting to it just as quickly.
It's not the fastest to load, but so here you have some MCC information that you can pull and see, even in this report. Other options is to go to the cache server itself. I have one on. Let's see. This one should have a cache server. See if this one has been in use anything. Other ones, I have the cache server that we use for the course that I can tap into some data from.
Oh yeah, because they're all using the cache server.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's see. This one was just measuring some activity. I should have that object available now. Yes, I do. This one didn't have much. See if I can borrow this one and go to the other server. See, the host name for this one is this. Let's see why I haven't this one. It's always fun to do stuff in real time.
And that's what makes live so interesting.
Yeah. No, this one did not give any good information.
Oh,
Not at all. It's definitely up and running here. Not sure why it doesn't show any data. You can look at the farm though. Intune apps are usually using one of these farms. That was just the cache settings. This one didn't have much in terms of requests. Let's try the Windows update once. No, nothing recently. But this is where you can see some of the data when you had clients connecting to it. Here were some. This particular some sort of upload or download site had, pretty good ratio, all in all, and 98% bandwidth savings. And this is since yesterday.
wow.
So we have a gigabyte of cache hit content. So maybe that. Surprised that we didn't have anything from upload or downloads. There are a good few of them. Yeah, this one was a little bit more. This is a 3 gigabyte of updates coming down. So I'm not sure if this is helpful, but this is where you can look into some of that data. Shameless plug, obviously, a company I work for, TrueBind, we sell dashboards that visualizes that data, and then you have more details.
All right. Hey, if I had shared my report this time, I think I could have finally received a virtual high five from you. I'm seeing an 88% bandwidth savings,
There you go.
and I don't think you have ever seen my peering that high before.
I think we will actually have to show that because this is recorded and it will be forever and ever in time.
That's right.
Do you have it up?
And I do.
All right.
And
Let's see what happens when I share that one.
look how much is coming from peers.
All right. This makes me happy. Yes.
Well, and I would have to say that this is just based on your recommendations, your starting recommendations for DO. Those are applied to my devices, and I've left my devices on for longer than I normally do in my lab.
There you go.
Yeah. So
Brilliant.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, sir, for the suggestions or the recommendations, rather.
Perfect. All right. Do we have anything else coming in?
Indeed, we do. I've got a question here on YouTube. Is there a good way to deploy apps using Winget for computers where the users are not admins? All my scripts that I deploy with either ConfigMgr or Intune only work with admin users.
I don't know. I haven't tried.
Same. I mean, on the Intune side, if possible, I would probably assign those through the store integration. For ConfigMgr, who wrote the post escapes me, but I thought that we had referenced a post that somebody did on deploying.
That was Panu that did a Winget tweet at one point, but it was not like a real
Just a tweet.
blog post. Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know, but if anyone has stumbled across it or figured out a good way to deploy Winget apps using either Intune and ConfigMgr for regular users and want to share, please do. I'm happy to announce it.
Indeed. All right. Amir mentioned last week he discussed a problem they encountered where device modification using the Microsoft Graph modules don't function on non-Windows devices when authentication occurs via app registration. As documented in the update API documentation, delegated access is required. They have an automation script that disables or removes inactive devices based on specific criteria within their environment. And the script is currently malfunctioning on Mac devices. Just checking to see if you had the opportunity to investigate that issue at all yet.
Not at all. No. I won't have even devices to test on, so.
Definitely, if you're seeing something like this too, would recommend there is a GitHub project for the module. So I would recommend, if you haven't already, Amir, filing an issue and seeing if Microsoft will acknowledge it. I've got an issue that's been out there for a little while as well, but I've seen some folks have some good luck on filing issues there for bugs like this.
Can you share that link?
Yeah, let me see if I can find it real quick. Probably the easiest way to find it will be, where is my outstanding issue?
Sounds about right.
I think I've got it here. Let me just verify that this is it.
I mean, we also have Maurice Daly, Johan, and Sandy joining us tomorrow in the class. I can ask if they have stumbled across something as well.
Yeah.
There are a few things they do not know about Graph.
So this is the graph metadata repository. And you can see there are a number of outstanding issues here. I hope this is the right place because this is where you can see a lot of people are posting issues on specific endpoints and where they're seeing inconsistent or incorrect experiences. Oh, okay. Amir followed up. The issue was logged and then closed after it was added as a known limitation of the API.
Ouch.
That is interesting.
Then, well, that's going to be hard to fix
Yeah.
until they change that API. Yeah, then I have absolutely no idea. I don't think it's doable until they change that.
All right. There's a follow-up question from the enablement package versus in-place upgrade question earlier. The question was actually looking at where are the logs. I think I understand the question here correctly. Where are the logs for enablement package upgrades versus in-place upgrades?
So they are very different. When you run the in-place upgrade, there's a setup engine running again, and you have to review the setup backlog and all the other related log files in the Panther folder. For the enablement package, it's just the regular patch logs that you have. I haven't seen like a separate log file for the enablement package that is outside of the Windows Update part, or the way, for example, ConfigMgr deals with that update. Not sure if you stumbled across anything, Andrew, that.
No, I haven't.
If log file I can think of in addition would be the DSM log file. Will show when packages are installed. No, nothing that comes to mind.
Right. Had another question just come in asking if by any chance we've heard from Microsoft about making developer trials available again for Intune training.
So I think it was just a week and a half ago. If you attend one of the official Microsoft trainings, like the certificate or exam-based trainings, they now offer a 2-week version of it that you can sign up for as part of that. They are priced around $50, $60, $70 ish for that 2-week period. Because that's part of that like course offering. But I haven't seen anything else regarding the normal trials. Let's see if I can bring up that blog post again. But these are the CDX type tenants I'm talking about, the ones that will reset themselves after 2 weeks. So that's probably not what you're looking for. It's great for if you want to run through a specific scenario or a short week of training, but not for a long time lab, which I liked about the developer program.
I just came across something interesting for the developer program. Maybe I just missed this previously. Weren't they saying that it was Visual Studio Enterprise only?
Was some sort of Visual Studio subscription that was required from now on to even be able to sign up for it.
Yeah. So it looks like, if I recall, originally they were saying only Visual Studio Enterprise, but now Visual Studio Professional is in here as well.
Yeah.
It's still not what we had, to be fair.
Nope. Well, this is a step in the right direction, at least.
Yeah.
Even the professional versions of Visual Studio, they're not exactly free.
No. Let's see. What do those run? $45 a month.
Yeah. It's still cheaper than buying the licenses individually.
Well, in the enterprise subscription, you can subscribe for $250 a month. So
Yeah, right. So what's the annual one for Pro?
it looks like. Get out of here. So 45 for 50, $540.
Oh, they didn't have like a yearly deal.
Not that I saw here, at least.
I mean, at the same time, if you go to your manager and I want to learn this, it's going to set you back $500 a year towards my training budget. That shouldn't be a deal breaker for a company that employs sysadmins, because their yearly salaries usually somewhat decent, at least. So yeah, okay. I said it's a step in the right direction. Talk to your manager, ask him or her to pay for a subscription, so that you can sign up for a developer program, since that now seems to be available. Don't shoot us if it doesn't work. But yeah. Anyhow.
No, exactly. I mean, this was I just noticed this and haven't tested this myself or anything, but fingers crossed we get more steps in the right direction. But for now, it looks like this is what we have.
Yeah.
All right. Is there a way to force Microsoft Connected Cache to not wait for 3 download requests before sharing DO content to devices?
Not that I know of, at least not for Win32 apps. There was something around how the headers were constructed. I haven't seen a change of that. So, not that I know of.
All right.
There was another comment regarding the trials as well. Another option is if you simply pay for a license or two of a EMS E5 license, which also is around $30-40 a month, give or take.
Yep.
But if you're willing to pay 40 a month for that, and you pay 45, you get the Visual Studio subscription that make you eligible for the developer program. That is probably a better deal. But yeah, they do not make it easier for us. That is for sure.
No.
Would like you to do a live chat? No, I do not. Thank you. All right, I do not see any other question in the queue here, and we managed to fill up the hour. Fantastic.
Excellent.
Minus 1 minute, but still counts. Everyone, thank you so much for joining. Andrew, thanks for joining. Glad to have you back. And we hope to see you next Wednesday, same time, same channel.
All right. Happy to be back, and we'll talk to you next week. Have a great one, everybody.